Welcome to a very full episode of The Modern Moron, a bit longer than usual. We cover a lot of ground, so I'm mostly going to give you just some bullet points. Mostly. So you can either be prepared, be in on the joke, or decide to skip this episode entirely. Sort of a spoiler alert without too much spoilage.
Item number 1.
The senator peed his pants. Again. If you're a guy and you're listening, you're probably right in this demographic. You've done it too, and it's just a sign to all of us to stop wearing khakis. But this very quickly segues into
Item number 2.
A sincere apology from the senator. How do I set this up? We were both in a high school alumni golf tournament a few weeks ago. He and his high school buddies were in the foursome behind my foursome. Through most of the round, say about 3/4, the senator was telling another guy in his foursome to yell certain things during my backswing. Things that might get to me. And you all know what a delicate flower I am. Well, it's one thing to do that from 200 or 300 yards away, and another to do it from the same tee, which is what he did himself towards the end. He yelled from about 15 yards away the name of a girl I was in love with in high school that ended in a very gasoline-soaked fiery crash. Should I have gotten over that by now? Yes. Is it still a complete dick move by the senator? Yes to that as well. He came sauntering over right after saying, and after I shanked the drive as well, as if I would have no problem with him yelling at me during my backswing. And I teed off on him, pun intended. He had been trying to buzzkill my round of golf, so I buzzkilled everyone's round by yelling an F-bomb-laden tirade in front of 8 people and ruined their round, at least for that moment. A couple of complete morons. So that is what he apologizes for. It was a sincere and very out-of-character move for the senator. Good for you, Senator.
Item number 3.
Afghanistan. We hit this topic a couple of times, actually, and this section is about the refugees. Afghanistan or Mexico or Central America, what's the difference? Why do Afghanis get sympathy, deservedly so, but our closer neighbors to the south get no love? Or are the Afghanis just the flavor of the week and it's in vogue to give them refuge? And how are we going to be viewing them 5 or 10 years from now when they're still learning to find their place in our society?
Item number 4.
We are reminded that now California Senator Alex Padilla owes over $35 million to California taxpayers from money he funneled to a firm that happened to be advising then presidential candidate Joe Biden. We originally discussed this in February of this year on episode 89.
Item number 5.
The senator refers to a certain vice president as the hooker from San Francisco.
Item number 6.
Afghanistan again. This time, it's U.S. Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller, who was relieved of duty on August 27th. He also resigned that same day. This happened after posting a video the same day the 13 soldiers were killed at the airport in Kabul. In the video, he calls out the senior leadership for their lack of accountability in botching the withdrawal from Afghanistan. I don't need to tell you that as a soldier, you do not post videos proclaiming any political criticism, period. You're a soldier and you take orders. But Lieutenant Scheller did, and he was relieved of duty. Most of the coverage of this was from the right because it shines a light on the mismanagement of Biden's White House, and because of that, I went looking for more left-leaning publications, which, to no surprise, were not as easy to find. CNN had a very short article in which Marine Corps spokesman Major Jim Stenger said in a statement that Scheller had been relieved of command, quote, due to a loss of trust and confidence in his ability to command. This is obviously an emotional time for a lot of Marines, and we encourage anyone struggling right now to seek counseling or talk to a fellow Marine. There is a forum in which Marine leaders can address their disagreements with the chain of command, but it's not social media, end quote. Scheller wrote in a Facebook post Friday after being relieved that, quote, my chain of command is doing exactly what I would do if I were in their shoes, end quote. The other coverage I have is a Time magazine op-ed from a military veteran who writes, and this is a bit lengthy, I apologize. Scheller had battalion command. The Marine Corps is very selective about which officers it grooms to become battalion commanders. The fact that Scheller held that job means he was, before this past week, well regarded, a Marine with a future in the Corps. Furthermore, Scheller is 17 years into a 20-year career. At 20 years, he would have been eligible for retirement at half his base pay with other benefits like health care for life. It took him exactly 4 minutes and 45 seconds to throw that away. Why did he do this? Until the past 2 weeks, Afghanistan was not a place or an issue most Americans cared about. In 2018, 42% of the country couldn't even say whether or not we were still at war there. Over the past 2 decades, the war in Afghanistan has been waged by an all-voluntary military and funded through deficit spending. Unlike other wars, there has been no draft and no war tax. It's often been said that while America's military has spent the past 20 years at war, America itself has been at the shopping mall. This has led to a massive civilian-military divide. He goes on to say, this botched withdrawal, in which many active duty as well as retired members of our military are receiving hundreds of phone calls and texts daily from their Afghan allies and their families who are now left to fend for themselves against the Taliban, has only deepened this sense of alienation among many who've served. One only needs to look back through history, from Caesar's Rome to Napoleon's France, to see clearly that when a republic couples a large standing military with dysfunctional domestic politics, democracy doesn't last long. Again, that's from a Time magazine article, op-ed online. The link is at the bottom of the description. You can also find them at themodernmoron.com under episode 101. Moving right along.
Item number 7.
Louis Farrakhan's bow tie. What can I say? The senator sent me a link to a speech he gave recently that is not at the bottom of this episode. You're going to have to find that yourself or ask the senator.
Item number 8.
Then we start talking about the recall of California Governor Gavin Newsom. We begin talking about the what-ifs of this total waste of taxpayer dollars when I stop and listen and I hear this. I let it go the first time, but when I hear it again, I'm pretty sure it's the senator clipping his nails during our conversation. I don't know which is worse, hearing him clip his nails as opposed to being engaged in the conversation, or the level of disgust I find at him doing it. This show is basically a phone call, but it really bothers me, to no one's surprise, when I hear it. Which he then tells us he had a masseuse come out to his house to give his family massages. Do you do this? Should I be making a budgetary adjustment to allow for a monthly massage? That is so not on my radar of things to work into the budget. Maybe it should be. Maybe I wouldn't be such a dick if I got a massage once a month. I think I would need more than one a month. So yeah, that's a lot even for a couple of morons. Thank you for listening to The Modern Moron. What's happening?
You really want to know, like right now, or
Sure, yeah.
in general? I pissed.
Uh-oh.
I peed on myself again.
Oh, that's interesting on a couple of levels.
Again.
You peed on yourself, one,
Well-
and two, you did it again.
Oopsies.
When did the first, twice in a day, or what's the deal?
Remember
You having
about
dribbling issues?
year and a half ago, I was in church service and I passed out in church.
Yes.
Then I peed myself when
Like you fully released
Yeah.
everything that was there on that one,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
total just let it go. Had no idea.
Mhm.
Until it was in December because I was there for Christmas mass and the wind blew and I was like, man, it's cold down there. And I looked down, big old stain right there,
Mhm.
big old wet
Right.
stain. Plus I had my cocktail.
Great.
But now it's like when you get to a certain age and you try to shake it and you think it's all gone and then you put it back in and you zip up and
Yes, sir.
there it comes.
And then all of a sudden, where'd all that come from?
Yes. Because
Yeah.
I was like shaking, like way too much shaking. Like, hey, it's borderline shaking.
Stop playing with yourself.
Then I peed on myself
From inside your pants.
from inside my pants. Yes.
And since you wear fancy slacks most of the time, what color
Yes.
were your slacks? Beige, khaki?
Khaki. Yes.
Oh, nice. Perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
We'll show up nicely.
Yeah. It's still a little. It's not even little. I'm looking at it right now. It's like
Well, where did this happen?
my daughter was in the bathroom, so I went outside and pissed by the pool.
All right. Because you just couldn't make it upstairs?
Yeah, I didn't like going up that. So, you've obviously been in my casa. I pee everywhere around my property.
To mark your spot like a dog?
Well, that, and plus, when my dog does go out with me, he usually pees with me, so we pee together. But the real reason I pee is because it keeps the critters away, because they don't like the human scent. So skunks and possums, they smell my piss and they turn around and go somewhere else.
How do you all respect, how do you know that?
I learned it from an old Indian, a Native American. That's how they kept animals away from their camp.
Sure you want to say that?
I don't know how I know that. I just know that. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
True.
okay, all right.
They don't like human scent, right? They don't like human scent, first of all.
Neither do I.
Well,
No, good. Yeah, okay.
I don't
All right.
have to
Makes
remember-
sense. Makes logical sense. I just thought you might have
I don't
picked
have
that
to
up.
come and pee in your yard to keep you away.
No, you don't.
I just have to be an asshole and piss you off, and then you get mad and you leave, and then we
And
kiss
you get
and
what you want. And you get what you want, right?
make- I
You get
called and
me upset, you
apologized
get-
to you. I called and
What?
apologized. I'm sincere.
What are you talking about? First of all, we're having.
When you
What are you
got
talking
mad
about?
at the golf tournament and you got mad at me because we were saying things that were bringing up past pain in your life, and we thought it was funny, and I was feeding the person the material. I was not delivering the material, but I was at fault because I was feeding that person the material, even though I wasn't delivering the material.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I am not partial to blame. I'm full to blame, because had I not given him the ammunition, he would have never fired at you. Sorry.
No. Plus, he's not that type of person.
Absolutely not. No, I made him that way. See, that's why what a horrible person I am. But whatever. It makes you stronger.
Makes who stronger?
You stronger.
Oh, really?
Stronger. Yes.
Okay, that's how you raised your kids.
You can
You verbally abuse them to make them
You're
tougher.
welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Great.
No, I mean that. I'm sorry. I said it before. I'll say it again. Sorry.
How often have you had to sincerely apologize to someone? That's not really in your DNA, is it?
Sometimes I do it just to move on. I don't really mean
Okay.
it. Sometimes I just do it to move on. And then
Like,
sometimes
can you remember a specific time that you apologized just to move on and you didn't really mean it? Maybe it was a work relationship or something like that. The reason I bring it up is did the person you were apologizing to know that you were insincere? Because I sure did the first time you apologized, right?
Yeah, because I was being flippant. I was, but I'm bringing it up again, so I'm being very sincere. I really did.
I'm not only shocked but impressed.
Aw, that's adorable.
Okay, well, yeah, and I mean that. I mean, it was bullshit.
I'm very admirable.
Yeah, and you were having fun, and you were with friends you hadn't seen in a while, and I was with my bonehead friends, and we're all having fun.
Don't call them boneheads. There was only one bonehead in that foursome, and it was you.
Well, because he was the one yelling.
No, he wasn't. No, he was set up. He was set up
All right.
by you.
All right. Yeah, I would consider the other three boneheads. We're all boneheads.
No, I wouldn't be. In fact, Steve, I believe, came up to and said, "Hey, why don't you let the guy enjoy his round of golf?"
Oh man, that makes me feel even worse.
By the way, very interesting side note.
Yes.
Was it there that he said, I love the way he said it. He said, "I think I would make an excellent guest on your podcast."
I guarantee he said that. And he would say it like that.
He said it very matter of fact. "I think I would make an excellent guest."
Yes. Yeah.
I think we should have him on.
I do too.
For nothing else, why he thinks he would be such a good guest.
He's a fantastic guy. I would love to have him on your show. Yes.
We'll get him on. Get him on. All right.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Speaking of that, of guests and those types of things. So when I go on my magical train ride, I would love to, I don't know if I'm going to have, enough Wi-Fi to do this, but I'd love to give you a report from the train.
Why do you think you're not going to have consistent Wi-Fi?
Because one, because it's Amtrak. Two, they pretty much said you'll have Wi-Fi when we go into cities, obviously, but out in the prairie and the Rockies and all that, I'm not going to have Wi-Fi. They said it's very inconsistent.
Why don't we do it when you're pulling into or out of the Chicago area?
Probably pulling out of, because I have when we pull in, I have plans to go to my favorite steakhouse, have a Manhattan, throw down a big fat.
Okay, what does that have? That has nothing to do
Because I
when you
want to be
pull-
ready to jump off the train. I don't want to. I got to be ready. I got to get in an Uber. I got to go to my steakhouse.
I think all of that was just to bring up that you're going to go to a steakhouse and have your cocktail.
Not just a
That's
steak.
what I think.
Yeah, it's I'm going to have. I don't know. I'll probably have the ribeye. I might have the big.
No, hey,
the big tomahawk.
nobody cares about that.
Okay, well maybe I know one listener that cares about it.
When you listen to it.
Our special guest on the last episode, I bet he likes that. I bet he'd be like, I wish I was with.
The only thing he likes is that I bust your chops when you say, "Oh, it'll have to be when we pull out, but not when we pull in because I have to go to a restaurant at the top of the Hancock building."
I have been at the top of Hancock building. By
the way. God, so have I. Who cares? Jesus Christ.
So yeah, I'm rather do it when we're pulling out.
Okay. I'm in such a good mood just talking to you. The last few days or weeks, like, man, I've been just sad, depressed.
Why?
I talked to my spiritual advisor today, and the first thing he said was, "Have you exercised?" And I had not. But there's there's hurricanes and flooding coming to the Northeast and no rain at all on California. We're burning like a match.
Yep.
Afghanistan and the friggin' Delta variant. No, it's like, Jesus Christ. Is this all straight out of the book of Revelations? Should we just be reading that?
Don't forget about the border crisis. Don't forget about that. Add that to the list.
You know what? Can I say this about that and get your take on this? The situation in Afghanistan, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these people had to come out, partners and just people that if you want to get out of there, if you want to have a life, we got to get you out of there.
Absolutely.
Not because you helped us. You're a person.
Right.
So we have all this love for these Afghanistanis that want to get out because of a bad situation. Well, in Mexico and Central America, we've got the same horrible situations, cartels and drug lords.
True.
Why no love for our neighbors right next door, but we do have this compassion for Afghanistan?
Excellent point, and I'm not qualified to answer that. That's a great, according to President Biden, he got at least 120,000 people out of Afghanistan, right?
You're incredible. You're absolutely incredible.
Were any of them tested for COVID? First question. Are they all now going to be refugees? Are they all coming to the United States? We're going to sprinkle them around the world. What are we going to do with them? I bet they're all coming to the United States, right?
So eventually, I think some country in South America is going to host, for lack of a better word, a big group of them, a large number, with the understanding that they will be moving to the United States.
Wow, but your point is well taken. Is that why don't we go down and bring across 100,000 refugees from Central America, Mexico, wherever? It doesn't matter. It could be China. I don't care. Right?
Well, but they're also our literal neighbors. Mexico is our neighbor, and so is Central America. And they've got all these drug problems and poverty and all kinds of issues. I get why we have compassion towards Afghanistan, but isn't the same sort of situation happening in Central America and Mexico?
You are absolutely right, and I can't answer that question, but that's a great point.
It's just that the Latinos are trying to sneak over any way they can. If Afghanistan was adjacent to the United States, they'd probably be doing the same thing.
Yeah. Well, maybe also we haven't been fighting a war in Mexico for the last 20 years.
Yeah. Well, Pakistan, a lot of people in Afghanistan are trying to make it to Pakistan, and what a mess.
And for the record, just so I know you think I'm a Republican, which I'm not.
What are you?
I'm all for I'm an independent voter. I'm independent.
Okay.
I'm independent.
I just want to hear you say.
I don't register as a Democrat.
Okay.
No, I think I don't want to get into that whole what I think of both parties. They just
hypocrisy on both sides.
I'm independent.
Next, move on.
It's move just on. Whatever you believe in, you're gonna like one party better than the other. Yes, I am probably more conservative than I am liberal, but I am fiscally conservative and socially liberal. What was I going to say about that? Now, I need another drink because I forgot what I was going to say. That should help my brain cells.
You want me to pause it while you make a cocktail?
In a minute. Yeah, I've got a little bit of ice that's melting. I don't want to waste any of it.
Good man.
Dang it. What the was I going to say about Mexico and fighting in the war? Anyway, I lost it. Sorry. Can we just go? Can we do a potpourri?
Sure.
Okay, so I want to bring up, because it's been a couple months, and I'd love to go back and listen to the episode. By the way, I did listen to that one episode. And you know what? I had already listened to that episode, the one where we had President Biden, where we interviewed President Biden.
You had listened to that.
I had listened to that, yeah.
Wow.
I got to the end, I go, I already listened to this. I really did.
I thought
I'm not
self-proclaimed, you have said, I only listen to episodes that I'm on.
Yeah, I typically do, but I had listened to that one already, just so you know.
Okay.
But my point being is, I'd love you to go back and listen to a few months ago when I talked about the senator from California, the new senator, Alex Padilla, and the $35 million that he legally funneled from the taxpayers to a Joe Biden campaign.
Do you recall what episode number that was? Because I'll drop it in here real quick.
But I want to note, I said everybody would forget about it and it would be swept under the rug, right? Because there was a big investigation and he legally funneled that money. And have you heard one word about it since he's become senator? Nope.
Well, that's part of being a politician, right? It's just weather the storm and it'll go. Something bigger will trump it. No pun intended.
Yeah, but you and I and every other taxpayer got bent over for $35 million illegally, that he funneled that money, and it was
taxpayer dollars that got funneled to Newsom's campaign.
No, to Joe Biden's.
Oh, to Joe Biden's campaign.
To a firm,
yes,
that was representing Joe Biden's campaign.
Yes,
get out the vote,
right,
that kind of thing.
Right.
And all forgotten about, just swept right. Just like I said, I go, you watch, it'll be forgotten, and nobody will bring it up, and it'll just go away. And it did. 35 million.
Was that before the pandemic?
Oh no, God, no. That was in 2021.
Oh, okay.
Well, because when did the hooker from San Francisco get elected to VP? When did all that happened? In November last year?
Will it be worth it? Yes.
And so he was appointed probably sometime in the winter, and then got sworn in probably sometime in January after she became VP, right? In January.
The one that Kamala Harris that you just called a hooker?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
I did.
All right.
Yeah. Well, she blew her way to the top, for God's sake. Everybody knows that.
All right.
I'm not saying anything that nobody already doesn't know.
Okay, well, you know what? That a lot of people have done that. And I'm not saying that politics,
I agree. Absolutely.
I'm not just women, by the way.
Oh, hello.
Anybody can
come over and sit on my couch.
Okay. All right. Is that all you want to say about that topic? Do you have another
I just
one?
want to say that it's totally forgotten about, and now it'll be gone forever.
Okay.
Like most scandals.
All right.
So yeah, I wanted to bring that up. I don't know if you want to talk about the exit strategy, if you can call it that, from Afghanistan.
It was a mess.
You know what I found interesting is that there are now United States Marine Corps, not rank and file, but these are lieutenant colonel. I mean, these are high-ranking individuals who are coming out and just blasting their commanders, their leaders, about not holding accountability about the fiasco that was created. I don't remember his name. He was a lieutenant colonel, United States Marine Corps. He basically resigned his commission. He basically resigned his position, and he says he's walking away from all of his VA benefits, everything. He's been in Afghanistan for, I think, 17 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he got on. He just blasted his commander, saying, "Please, somebody just come out and say, I'm responsible for this. I'm accountable for it." You'll find it somewhere. I don't know where it is, old man. It was on something. I haven't vetted it, so I'm assuming it's legit and all that stuff.
You should kind of jot that down.
What's that?
Your sources. Like, you sent me something from Louis Farrakhan the other day. It's like, that's your news source?
I was just looking on YouTube. Yes, I saw. And please, he is a reverend, so please, respect
Reverend
his
Louis
title.
Farrakhan.
Reverend
Okay.
Louis Farrakhan. I was watching him. Actually, I was watching him on YouTube. I was watching him when he was on Phil Donahue, which was. I should have sent that one.
He looks pretty good. How old is that guy? He's been around forever.
Yeah, but the Phil Donahue show, that was what, 20 years ago? He was on Phil Donahue.
20 years ago. Phil Donahue was on in like the 70s and 80s. Longer than 20 years, my friend.
Okay, so he was on there. I should have sent that one to you because the reason you would have liked to have listened to that, it's the same rhetoric from all races, no matter what. I don't care who you are or what color you are. It's the same same rhetoric.
Excellent.
From these individuals, these meaning these people in the audience, all races, mostly Caucasian, mostly African American, but same issues. Nothing's changed. Nothing. Zero. But Farrakhan, he's a victim, big time victim, big time. I wish he would just move on, but he won't. Makes him too much money being a victim.
He makes a lot of money.
I don't want to say anything bad about him because I don't want the bow tie showing up on my doorstep.
So is that how you're suggesting they get rid of somebody? You get a bow tie left on your doorstep and like, uh-oh.
The Reverend Farrakhan was here.
Pair of concrete galoshes. Nope, you got the bow tie.
That's the horse head in the bed. Might as well be the same thing.
Wow.
He's an interesting character, though. He really is. Anyway, that being said, so recall, you care about that, the California recall?
Yeah, I kind of do. I hate to say this. I think Newsom's a dingbat, a moron, a douchebag.
Yeah.
But if the recall goes, yes, we are going to recall him, the person most likely to get it is an absolute nut job, in my opinion. Who's that? Larry Elder?
He's an addicted gambler, putting his last few bucks on the line, certain this time it's got to work. Fellow Californians, all that money he wasted was yours. I'm Larry Elder.
Oh, the radio talk. Yeah.
He's the only one that's got some kind of... He's a talk show host. He's an entertainer. He is just another P.T. Barnum like Trump.
Yeah.
Are you clipping your fingernails right now?
You can't... Yeah, I am. You can't...
Oh, my God. Please stop doing that while we're trying to have a conversation.
You can't trust people who have their own podcast because he has his own podcast, too. Why can't I... I'm
it's just... We can all hear it. No, thank you.
I'm a human being. People appreciate it.
Okay, go out when you're taking a piss in your backyard, clip your nails at the same time, and then pee all over your legs.
I'm getting ready for my train ride. I want my nails to be nice and trim.
Oh, God, I'm surprised you clip your own nails at all. Why don't you go get a mani-pedi?
If I had time, because I'm leaving tomorrow for the East Coast, I would. I absolutely would. But unfortunately, I have to do it myself this week. I did get a massage on Monday, though, which was fantastic. Oh,
How often do you get a massage?
I try to get a massage at least once a month.
Really? Where do you go for this massage?
She comes here to the house. I get on call. Boom. Shows up, table, sets it up. Boom. Got one for my daughter.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
What about your lovely bride?
Yeah, she got an hour. Oh, she got an hour and a half, actually. She took the line. I just did an hour. I sprung.
And your daughter as well? So this masseuse is there for like 4 hours?
Yeah, she got here at noon and left left like 4 o'clock. Yeah,
we are really, really in different tax brackets.
What? It's no, I don't think so. I just think
I can't afford to have a masseuse come to my house.
Yes, you can. Yes. Yes.
Okay. See, when you start talking like that little baby talk, that is when you're as full of shit as you can possibly get. And stop clipping your nails.
Don't make me laugh. I'm going to hurt my finger.
Good. Put the fingernail clipper down and be present.
Okay. I can't talk and clip my nails at the same time. Dude,
but we can hear it. Would you do that if a person came over to your house and was sitting with you?
No, I would. I do it.
Please tell me you would not do that.
No, I would not do that.
Well,
no.
we have one listener right now that doesn't want to hear you clipping your fingernails.
Like brothers, your family. And
Then please consider our very precious listener.
okay.
Thank you.
Sorry. I stopped and I put it down.
Jesus Christ.
Now I'm going to have anxiety about finishing these since I'm looking at them going, I got to finish. I got anxiety now. I can't.
You think you'll forget that? I don't think you will. I think you'll be good to go.
I'll be good to go. Back to the recall. So yes, the nutty guy with his own podcast.
And all the rest of them, I was thinking, you know what? Maybe I'll recall Newsom and vote for another Democrat that's on.
Right.
And there's like 9 of them. But one of them isn't even says he's a Democrat, but he's a Republican.
Says he what?
He said it's, let me see, Armando Perez Cerrato. No ballot designation, but he is a conservative. I went to his website. He has an armorer's tool to reload for AR-15s, right? Assault rifles. That's not a Democrat.
So what's his, do you have the ballot in front of you? The description?
I don't, but I wrote down just a few of them, just to like, who is considering this? Like, who would be another Democrat I could replace our ding-dong Democrat with? And, a couple of them, Brandon M. Ross is a physician and an attorney. Armando Perez Cerrato, he's listed as a Democrat. He's not. Nobody that has created a tool in a business for reloading ammo for AR-15s is a Democrat. It's just not. You know what I mean? Like, don't bullshit me. There's an actor in there trying to Patrick Kilpatrick. It's like, no. As bad as Newsom is, I think just let him ride it out and then get rid of his ass.
Yeah, I mean, in a year. I mean, that's really...
There's a libertarian, Jeff Hewitt, Riverside County Supervisor. There's some experience. There's somebody in the Green Party, Heather Collins, who is a business owner and a hairstylist. Sure, why not?
Hey, that's got some credibility.
Criminal defense attorney, Dan, I wrote down Dan Kaplowitz. He's a Green Party member.
That's him, yeah. I thought you said he was he's Green Party, okay.
And he's a criminal defense attorney. Can you dig that?
Can I dig it? I can dig it.
No.
Can you dig it?
You're not. Are you going to recall this guy?
I'm on the fence on that.
There's just nobody.
Serious. I think the best recall system we have in the golden state of California is at the ballot box. Just vote them out in 12 months.
Yes,
right?
Agreed. That's the best way to go.
I mean, going through all this bullshit that we're going through and special election, millions of dollars every county.
Yes.
I mean, it's costing millions and millions and millions and millions.
Same thing for impeaching a president who never leaves office anyway.
Yeah, if you want to recall him, then do it at the ballot box.
It's egos. The taxpayers are paying for politicians' egos, saying, I want the history books to reflect the blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, who cares about that guy? He is a creep, though. I mean, he really has screwed up.
Newsom?
Yeah,
he's greasy.
He's screwed up a lot of stuff.
Did we just sound like a conservative talk show here? Or is it just because we have a Democrat in the White House screwing things up instead of a Republican in there screwing it all up? Regarding the senator seeing Farrakhan on Phil Donahue 20 years ago, Phil Donahue did his milestone talk show from 1970 to 1996. I didn't even think he did it that long. Regarding Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller, I don't think we've heard the last from him. He wrote on September 2nd on his Facebook account, quote, "Going forward, I must remain committed to forcing accountability across our senior leaders. I do not trust that reviews done by panels at the political/military level will bring the change we need. Major changes are needed. The system needs to be broken and rebuilt. We need fresh blood and perspective across the entire system." He goes on, "It's time for a new generation to assume American power. We are ready, and we reject the current system. This entire experience has illustrated to me just how hungry Americans are for honesty, accountability, and reform across the government. This was expressed to me from all political parties. We the people want change. We the people will take it. We the people are all Americans. Follow me, and we will bring the whole system down in a constitutional manner with one loud voice. Okay, as a person who loves to curse and does so way too much, that F-bomb at the end, I don't think that helped his message. And the "we the people will take it," it feels a little insurrectionist to this moron. He could be running for political office in the future, and I'll be curious to see which party he may affiliate himself with. Okay, that's it for this moron. Next episode will not be so heavy, I promise you. In fact, I think we're going to talk a little Ted Lasso. Thank you for listening. Forward this to someone who you think might like it, and we'll see you next time.
Dribbling in urine in men can be caused by multiple reasons. The most common reason would be enlarged prostate, which is a common pathology of men after age 50. When the prostate obstructs the urethra, the urine cannot flow in a good laminar fashion and it will dribble out.